starting the spoiler discussion right now. All right. So, as we know, they got doppelgangers. The main family, everybody got a version of them, and they not quite them, or they them, but they off. They don't speak. They just kind of like yell. The only one that talks is Adelaide, which is Red, and that's the only one that talks. So my question was, and I had this question before I saw the movie: does other people have doppelgangers? They answered that question real quick when the neighbor family, they doppelgangers came and killed the shit out of them so fast. Was you taken aback by how fast they killed them? Like,
I was, but like almost immediately, like as I was trying to come to terms with like how fast that all happened.
Well, see, that's scary too. But then it kind of messed you up. Well, it messed me up. How the what was the last names of the main family? It's like Wilson or something. But anyway, the main family, the main character's family, they came in there and kind of toyed with them, or taunted them and talked to them and played games with them. But this other family, where I'm expecting them to be doing some crazy shit, they just came in, that motherfucker just killed their ass immediately. Yeah. Like the twins, they
wasn't playing no games.
Yeah, I saw somebody else review, and they pointed out that there was, the neighbors were the white family, and they was like, man, they killed that white family quick. And I was like, I don't know if that's the reason why, but the little twin girls was talking. They were in the hallway like, hey, whatever, da da da. And they doppelgangers came up out of nowhere, just stabbed them in the neck, and then the dad doppelganger came out and killed his ass, and so basically they all just did a quick ass kill on all of them like right away. That took me aback because I was like, damn, why the fuck the other ones didn't do that? It seemed like the other ones, they had plans to talk to them about something, but it made sense that later when you see in the movie.
But I'm gonna tell you what got me was like because like this is the first time you see that other people have doppelgangers, but also this is like you see how there's some similarities between the people and their doppelgangers. Like the white guy's doppelganger is just as much of a dick as he is.
Yeah, I noticed that, but that's one thing I didn't get. Like, did they have their personality traits, or did they just look like them and they were just, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't, I seen some, but yeah, I guess that's what it is. You was like, they basically,
the white mom doppelganger has some level of the same kind of, I guess you call it body dysmorphia as she did.
Right,
you see over the makeup and then cutting up her face.
Right. So I wasn't sure exactly what they was trying to do with that. And, and I get what they saying. It's like basically they want to do what you do, but they don't quite know how to do it. I think that's kind of what they saying. You know what I'm saying? So like if you into this, they kind of into it, but they not really, or they into it, but they don't really know how to do it. So I'm trying to understand exactly how they what they was doing, because like you said, the lady did a lot of plastic surgery to herself or whatever. I guess she had like some Botox or whatever. You could tell she was talking about how she could have been a movie star if she didn't have kids and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's a lot of people that would, do stuff to themselves because they want to be more beautiful, which, that's a big thing now, And they were trying to signify her by her mutilating herself. The doppelganger mutilating herself was trying to be like the lady doing stuff to her face, and I feel them on that, so there's a lot of hidden meanings behind stuff. And the twins, they doing cartwheels and shit just like the other ones. But yeah. So that answered that question for me. It's more doppelgangers. They all out. I don't know if it's just that town or if it's the whole fucking world or whatever, but it's doppelgangers for everybody. Then I was like, is it more than just them, and then when they turn on the radio or the TV, they was like, oh, these people with red suits keep showing up. And why was that this would kill me. Was that the news broadcaster, the dude that was coming after the news broadcaster? Was that him? Like, was that his
Probably.
It's like
probably.
So ain't that, he was like, oh, this guy's coming at me. This might be this might be my last broadcast or whatever. I'm like, don't you notice that it's you or the dude look just like you? Ain't that messing you up?
Probably. I would assume.
So anyway.
So you want to get to the major twist?
I'm getting there.
But because I actually got a lot of ideas about that.
Okay, all right, yeah. So we know it's all these damn doppelgangers, and get to a point where they trying to escape them, and they end up going down to the to where they come from, and that's because Red has kidnapped her son, and she went down to they in tunnels, and they actually show like a little prologue at the beginning that it's underground abandoned tunnels that's been closed off and never been used, and they just down there. Nobody know what's down there, so I think they kind of try to let you know that it's experiments and shit that's down in those tunnels, and nobody even know because nobody even bother looking.
Yeah.
So, so once we get down there, we get his final confrontation with the main where Red is the leader, which is the doppelganger of Adelaide, and she's the only one who can talk. And let me ask you this: did that kind of throw some ideas in your head to knowing that she was the only one that talked?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was thinking that too. Because I was thinking, can any other ones talk? You know, all I heard was they go.
Because to me, I had two different ideas going in, because I remember they said at the very beginning that after her traumatic experience, Addie wouldn't talk.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then once we meet Red, she can already talk. She can't talk that well, but she can talk.
Right.
And my first thought was there was a comment with the myth of doppelgangers. There was a myth that if you met your doppelganger, it would start absorbing the essence of what made you you.
Uh-huh.
And so the idea was, because of them meeting when she was a kid, Red absorbed some of Addie's essence.
Right.
But then, going forward, it started seeming like they wasn't going with something like that, And so then once they got to it, I started thinking, well, maybe there's a reason she couldn't talk.
Well, we might as well just talk about the reason why. So, which they bring up at the very end, after she finally kills Red and start to escape, they take you back to when she first went down to that tunnel, and come to find out that the actual doppelganger switched places with the real Adelaide. So the whole time the doppelganger was the girl.
Yeah.
And that is the big twist. But a lot of clues was out there that Adelaide wasn't right. And the things I noticed, but I didn't think that they was doing something. Somebody brought this to my attention. Well, they did a video. They's like, remember, she was listening to I Got 5 on it, and she's like, here, get in the rhythm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't fucking on beat, but she telling the kid to, catch the beat, get in the rhythm. And she like snapping like she wasn't even on beat. And then I was like, what the fuck is, I'm like, what beat she doing? She like snapping all off beat and shit. And I was like, oh,
okay.
Right. And somebody was like, clues like that let you know that she wasn't quite right. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that and I was like, oh, maybe she just don't know how to catch. Maybe she just don't know how to catch the rhythm. But she was snapping off beat like a motherfucker. Because I noticed that myself, but I didn't think nothing of it. I just figured that she fucking don't know how to sing, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like she probably can't dance or whatever. And that's also the thing too. Remember she said she stopped dancing? Also, that's because the real one used to dance.
Because that was the thing. That was the one that got me, was the dancing. But it started making sense now.
when she switched with her, she's like, I don't dance no more because she didn't know how to dance, but the real Adelaide did dance.
Yeah.
So,
and also like it hips you to like this whole premise. The jump off is that switch, So the thing that makes them different, because they were just as tethered as everybody else, but she decided to switch with her, And so the second that happened, of course, being as young as they were, all that got blanked out.
Right.
But, since you had the real Addie down there, she was the one generating the impulse. You know what I'm saying? So like right. She tried to dance, and so that made Red start to dance. The real Red, I guess.
But see, I don't think Red danced, right? I thought once she switched, she just stopped dancing.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is she never danced, right? Or did she?
I think she did dance. So she did dance for a little while, I think. I mean, because she had memories of her dancing.
But the real Adelaide danced in the little tunnel or whatever, and then Red never danced. I thought
because they made it look like as the real Adelaide was dancing down the tunnels, they showed Red dancing on a stage.
Oh, okay. So maybe they was.
So like that. Sure. So that's how I had taken it.
I thought she was just. I was
imagining.
Thinking, right. She was imagining she was on stage, and she was really just in those tunnels. Just how when she kept seeing the people look like they was just out doing whatever, but they was actually crazy motherfuckers. But I guess those were real memories at first, but they doppelgangers were down in the tunnels.
Because they even showed once she was talking about her down in the tunnels, they were talking about how they showed how everything mirrored each other.
Yeah,
remember?
Right. So I think you once see they the guy do stuff, they do it, and they don't really know why they doing it. They just kind of like mindless, kind of,
Yeah.
So, and then we get to see why she's the leader, because she's the only one that actually got a brain, the only one that can actually talk, and she got them to pretty much organize and listen to her. But we never really get to answer how they all get that glove and scissors. No.
Because that was the thing I was wondering, is are all these tunnels that connected all the way across the country like that? And
possibly though. That's what they said. Also, they all over.
You remember? So when it shows how Addie's dad won her that Thriller T-shirt,
right?
You see down in the tunnels where that scene played out again. I'm like, where's that T-shirt come from?
That was the real Adelaide that was down there.
No. They showed in the tunnel how that played out down there before they switched.
Oh,
that Red got a T-shirt too. I'm like, where did that T-shirt come from?
Who made that T-shirt though?
No.
Had one though.
She had one already.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, where did?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. She shouldn't have had one because she ended up taking it from her when she, kidnapped her and left her in there.
Because it was just a T-shirt. It had a faded, indistinct design on it. So
yeah.
I'm like, all my questions ain't never going to be answered, and I know that. But it's
there could have been something they just didn't think of. You know what I'm saying? Or you could try to make it make sense, but that showed that I really like that twist, because that there kind of showed the whole time, because you know what I was noticing too, sometimes Adelaide, where I guess Red, Adelaide was kind of sounding like the doppelgangers a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, maybe she just going mad because dealing with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I didn't think she was actually a doppelganger. And I was like, the part when she was killing her, she started kind of laughing like them. And I was like, damn, she must be going mad.
And she was groaning and clicking too while she was doing it.
Yeah. So That to me, it was a good twist. And somebody else threw
And
something out there too.
I think her kid realized it too.
But no, somebody else threw something out there too. They were saying that what's the name? That the kid might have been switched too. That because it was things I seen. Well, what's the name? I seen some videos. They were saying that they think the boy was switched last year because they said they went on a vacation last year, and then everything when he was there, he couldn't remember nothing, and he was like, because if you listen to him, and I didn't go back, I didn't pick up on this, but when somebody was explaining it, he kept saying, "Hey, I don't remember this, I don't remember that." They was like, you left these here last year or whatever. He said, yeah, I know I did, but I don't remember them or something like that.
Oh man!
And then the people were saying that the boy got switched a year ago, and then that's why he couldn't remember the trick. But the other boy remembered the trick because he had burnt himself. That's why they were saying that's why he couldn't talk.
Damn.
So I was like, that's some deep shit.
I hadn't even thought of that one.
Yeah. And he couldn't so he couldn't talk because he had burnt himself doing that trick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I didn't understand how he could control him though, because towards the end they was about to set him up with a lighter fluid in the car or whatever. Yeah. And then he get up and get the walking, and the boy started mimicking his movements, which he kind of did, but I just don't get how he just did it.
So this is part of what had me confused, right? So Red is the real Addie, right? So she's not one of the tethered, like the other doppelgangers are.
Right.
So what does that mean for their kids? Like,
I don't know. What do you mean?
Like, well, because
that the kid was, because they should be like half tethered and half human.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I was hearing people saying. That's why they got a connection. That's why they got a stronger connection than anybody else, because they have,
Okay. Oh, okay. That I see. Yeah, I can see that.
But that do make sense. So, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It makes you think.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I
like that's one of those things. Like, if I ever get to like a Comic-Con or something and Jordan Peele said, I'm like, man, just let me know something. Just let me know something.
Everybody got their little theories and ending explains and all that stuff. So you can check some stuff out on YouTube that that might explain that for you. I didn't get it. But all right, we're gonna wrap it up. So and then they formed this big chain, this holding hands thing.
Yeah, the hands across America.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, like, is this all through America then? It's all that made me think the doppelgangers must be all through America.
Yep. Because Reddit said that the idea was to control the people. So
they've been trying to make copies of everybody all this time to control people.
Well, like, because they didn't have to do much. They just had to control one generation.
I guess.
So like if you got it's like you got Abraham, which is the husband's doppelganger, and so once he and Red get together, they end up having kids because that's what Addie and old dude did, and so
and she kind of spoke on that like you met a man and fell in love and was happy, and they just brought me this motherfucker, told me I had to fuck him. You know what I'm talking about?
Hold up.
The part I'm talking about.
Hold up, you cut out, man.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was saying that Red was talking about you met a man, fell in love, and had a kid, and then they just brought me this motherfucker and told me I had to fuck him. And so like
that was one of the things that made me start thinking, because if she was just like everybody else, it wouldn't have occurred to her to think about it,
Right.
So like that was like one of the things I'm like, what is it that makes her so different from the rest of them that she could actually stop and say, this ain't what I'm looking for. This ain't what I'm trying to have happen to me right now.
Right. But let's wrap this up because we got to keep moving. It was on the whole, shit was good. It was a good twist. It make you think. And actually, when I go back and watch it again, I'm gonna probably pick up on a lot more shit that I didn't know was out there. I mean, I didn't know that that they was trying to give me clues on stuff, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so that is our spoiler discussion for us. Go see it. A good movie. That shit will change your life.
That's
right.
for sure.
So, all right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna